It's Dragon Ball time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the S.H.Figuarts Piccolo, the proud Namekian, aka Mr. Piccolo, aka Gohan's dad, aka Piccolo Figuarts 2.0. We've been asking for this one. I've been waiting on this one. Piccolo is one of my all-time favorites, and we got years ago in like wave 1 or 2 of this freaking line, we got this thing, which is way outdated, and it's finally time to get a new Piccolo, so I cannot wait to have a look at this one. Hashtag justice for Piccolo. After waiting so long for a new version, this is what we're getting. I see you, Figuarts. He stands at about 16.5 centimeters to the top of his head, so he does have some good size actually. That means he's going up to almost 6.5 inches tall. For your size comparisons, I have here's Jolter, the original release Piccolo, Goku, Vegeta, and Darkseid. But here's the obvious comparison. Old one against new one. Here's the original release Piccolo. This is the color variant I have. I think that was the original one, because there were like SDCC ones where he looked like a lot more anime accurate, and I think they were going with the manga colors at first. That's why his skin tones aren't really the same. Now, the first thing aesthetically, size-wise, he's a good bit smaller. That was one of the biggest complaints. It's just like the entire body mode is just too small for Piccolo. Piccolo's pretty buff. He's a lot bigger. He's a lot taller than everybody else, and that old figure just didn't do it any justice. Same with the face sculpt. It's just like pretty soft and whatnot. Obviously, these shoulder pads are way too floppy. There's a lot that has happened with Figuarts. Also, his feet are a lot smaller. There's a lot that has happened in Figuarts, and you can see it in figures like this. Going back to it, this was, I think, wave 1 or wave 2 of the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball line. How far are we deep? How deep are we now? Like wave 50? I don't know. Alright, now let's have a look at this guy though. Now, while they have improved a lot on the original one, there's still things that I do not appreciate. Starting off with the face sculpt. Now, the mold of it is pretty good. It does look like Piccolo, but why does he have like red lips? Why does he have painted lips at all? Or is that just the inside of his mouth? The eyes look good. The antennas look good. Also, they are, well, I thought you could rotate them around, but I guess you can't. I remember they were being soft plastic on the old one, but I cannot really turn this one. Everything with the detail in the ears and the eyebrows is okay. It looks good from the side, but from the front, I think he looks too fat. Case in point, here's a picture. You tell me. It should be a lot thinner here on the cheeks especially. The other thing that's too fat is his upper torso, the entire torso really. Not the upper torso, because I think the shoulders are actually alright. I just talked about how I think they should be bigger than the previous release, and it is. And the muscle work in it is pretty darn nice. It's very nice and detailed. It has a bunch of wrinkles in there. But then you have this kind of top of meat just hanging out, and it doesn't look natural, it doesn't look good, and it's too fat. As you can tell, it goes down almost in like a V shape down there, and the belt would be higher, the belt would be a little bit bigger, and would tuck in there, and it would look very nice. Then for the detail in the arms itself, actually looks pretty nice. Now I want to make clear, there's some good parts about this figure. I point out the bad because this should be better. We have all the line work, which is done, which is molded on, not painted on. We don't have any shading, unfortunately. They kinda didn't feel like doing that on the skin, while we do have some in the belt. Why are the elbow joints shiny? Why is a lot of him shiny actually? You don't see it so well on the camera, well, depending on how you look at it, but this part of his clothing is also pretty shiny. The lower part seems to be less shiny, but yeah, why is cloth shiny? Moving down to the belt, there is some line work in the wrinkles of it to make it look pretty much a little bit better, and that's fun. That is appreciated. Going down to the pants, you got a lot of wrinkles. The crotch piece is less shiny, and the legs are a bit more shiny. And then we go down to his shoes, which are also shiny. What is wrong with that? Why did they put this shiny finish on it? I don't get it. I don't get it. So, yeah, while an improvement over the old one, still far away from perfection. Okay, where I can't really complain is the articulation. The head moves forward, moves to the back, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around without any trouble. And as you can tell, the neck also moves around. So you can combine these two and get some pretty good results actually. For your shoulder articulation, it is on a long peg that reaches into the chest area. As such, you can move it around on that peg already. You have a big hinge in there, which with the entire meat piece of his shoulder. To bring it all the way forward, obviously it does look ugly, but you will not pose it like that, would you? You can still move it back in and still get some good poses out of it, and it does look fairly natural. Then you have a big hinge in the shoulder itself. Then bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, and a ball hinge in the fist, back and forth. Rotates. Chest area does leave a gap. Hello there, I'm Mr. Piccolo. Why did they do that? Well, it does rotate very nicely around, does go all the way around without any trouble, and it does go forward and to the back. Look at that. It's pretty darn good. Would go more side to side if it was small over here, huh? Well, well, that happens. It's Dragon Ball, guys. Of course, he'll just grow it back, don't worry about it. The hip part rotates all the way around without any hindrance, and also can move back and forth a little bit, has some wiggle motion obviously. Held back by the belt, but the belt is floaty from what I can tell. I don't think it's connected anywhere, so you can also rotate that around if you want to. Leg moves forward, doesn't really go to the back because of the butt, moves out to the side and rotates on this piece. Double hinged knee, and the foot is on a double ball, I think. Moves side to side very nicely, has enough range. Forward to the back, and just you can pull it around like that, make it good wiggle, and rotates all the way around and has a toe hinge. Boom. For your accessories, you have parts of a cape, starting off with the back one, which actually also has some shading, some dark shading in some pieces over there. It has some articulation in it, which just rotates out. And I guess you can move it up and down a little bit over here. It's really just like, if they would have just done a ball hinge, that would have probably accomplished the same thing. Really complicated in the engineering wise, but I guess maybe this one's better. Sure, whatever. I don't like a cape, a segmented cape anyway. So you have this piece obviously to put over his shoulders. Also it has some shading in there, pretty thick on some parts, but you know, just I don't want to be a negative Nancy, just like I want shading. Now it's too much. All right, this is yeah. I'm just reviewing, it's my job. Anyway, you have the crossed arms accessory, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Then you have faces. Now, one of these is for the turban, as you can tell, because he's missing the upper part of his head. If the camera would kind of focus on it, there you go. You got the two yelling faces, look pretty good actually, I love it. Has the veins, and then like the kind of maniacal yelling face with more veins in his head. And the other one with the turban, you just pump the turban off and you put it on the other one. Obviously with relaxed face. Then we have an accessory for when his arm gets cut off against Raditz, mostly. That's where I remember mostly from. Now they put some blood on it, which I'm actually surprised about it because they don't really do any gore. But then they didn't put the inside of the arm into any flesh tone, and that's just looking weird. So appreciate the blood, but why is this in such a weird dark color? I don't know. Then we have claw hands with nicely painted fingernails, by the way. Those look pretty nice. Manicure. And the open blast hands and the one Makenkozapo hand, right? That's what it's called. I don't know what it's called in English, because I don't watch dubs. But how do I attach the cape, I hear you ask? Well, we have this panel in the back, which is covered up by this piece. And here's the cape. And also in the accessories, which I almost forgot to show you, are these two white pieces of plastic, which you just kind of peg into the back. Either you want the long piece or the short piece, depending on how much you want to have it stick out. Put it in the back like that. But in the instructions it said you could do this. Let me try it out. You can slide that in. That doesn't look right. Let's see, if I put this over. Yeah, I don't know. What? For stand? Oh, it's for stand piece. Oh, okay. You're not supposed to put the cape in it. You can put the stand in the back. My bad. I don't know. I have two pieces in, but yeah. You can fix the mantle in a floating state. All right. You can play around with that. So there's that, but you actually put the mantle in the back of the figure. Wow, I'm stupid, but there you go, we're learning together. And it's gonna bring me to the final thoughts for this S.H.Figuarts Piccolo, and despite all the complaints, I really had fun with this figure, playing around with him, putting him into poses, and yes, he does stand on the Figma base, it does fit in there. I just tried it out for shits and giggles, so yes, I still do like this figure, despite its flaws, and it's by far light years better than this guy. So also this guy is kind of hard to get these days, so really, realistically, if you want a Piccolo for your S.H.Figuarts line, you gotta have to get this. Sorry for the crackling share. He does come with a lot of cool stuff. The mold is done nicely, the paint doesn't have any issues, so it's overall a clean job, but there's just some problems with the mold and some problems, especially with the face. To be fair though, the entire torso problem is less relevant once you put him into poses, because you can kind of hide it and it doesn't stick out so weirdly than when he's just standing up straight. So overall, what does that mean? Yes, I do recommend this one. It is a decent release. It could have been so much better, unfortunately, but what we got is still a pretty good Piccolo. So yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Piccolo wants, like a slimmer face and body. Lose some weight, fatty.